What's up, y'all? It's Jason Littrell. I'm a management consultant for bars and restaurants based in New York City, and today is day 17 or 18 of this series. But every day I've been going through about how I'm building a new optimization, automation, and performance HR system for bars and restaurants that I think is going to completely change the game. And so one thing that I learned in the last 24 hours or so is that nobody really knows what they're doing. And until you understand that and realize that you don't know what you're doing and it's okay, can you release the creative energy that is required to figure out what the problem is? And so I've been in the bar restaurant business for 20 years. I've been doing this for a long time. I was a bartender for more like about half of that. And during COVID, I got into systems and automations, I kind of learned how to do things. And I was kind of producing this commoditized offer, this marketing offer that pretty much anybody can do with a little bit of software. And so, as of recently, in the last couple of weeks, I was kind of hipped to an idea to start to systemize things that involve HR, retention, training, onboarding, and keeping people happy and engaged for a long time. And that's bridging the gap between customer, staff, and management. And so with these three elements and with gamification with points and nudges and all kinds of stuff, we're able to build an enriched atmosphere and then have a lot of data reporting with that. So this week has been about building the systems, and then this is like a creative space for me. I get to like do a bunch of stuff, and I kind of go off on tangents, and it's very, very exciting for me. This plus coffee equals 18-hour days. Looking at like typically standing, looking at a computer screen, and I'm all about it. I cannot wait to wake up in the next morning. I get frustrated when I get tired, and I just love this kind of sprint building of the system because it all makes sense to me. And the cool thing about the software is that I just have to build it once, and then we implement it, we optimize, rinse and repeat. And so it's, from a business standpoint, it's a very valuable thing. But more so, and especially from reading this book Unscripted from Jay DeMarco, I'm actually kind of more thinking about the impact. So I'm not spending money in my mind right now. I'm thinking about like, how is this going to help the people that work in restaurants? How is that going to help them? Because in New York, nightlife and bars and restaurants are around a $2 billion economic impact. And that's a very meaningful thing to me. That means tens of thousands of jobs are coming and going. 4 out of 5 bars and restaurants are typically going to go out of business. So like I feel, and without irony or hopefully arrogance, that we may be able to chip away at that problem just a little bit, and reduce that number even by 1%. Would save millions of dollars for people. Like we're talking about people's life savings and stuff. So this is what's so exciting for me, and I just love talking about it. I love thinking about it. I love the logic behind it. This is my creative space, and I kind of have that feeling that like everything that I've worked on in my career to this point, my entire adult life, has kind of led to this, and I think it's the thing that will make me wealthy. Although that's not really what I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about the person with their head in their hands that shows up to work and their key doesn't work in their lock anymore. When I owned a bar for 6 minutes, I did have one of those moments of like, why didn't this work? It was supposed to work. I was supposed to know this. People invested in me, and I failed them, and so that's kind of part of what I have in mind with this, and I think we're solving that problem. And I get the opportunity to work with a person who knows a lot more than I do about this stuff, who has like some pretty well articulated strategies, and then I'm building a lot of these strategies into the system, in addition to some known strategies like the Q12 employee response questionnaire, the Net Promoter Score surveys. I'm building a lot of those like kind of microscopic, like tiny little surveys that are really extremely low barrier to entry. So like literally just responding with one character in a text message will give us the information that we need to make decisions. Also, that was something that I built in the last 24 hours are just a point system. So in case, so this gives the power, it gives the a mechanism for also build a shift report mechanism. And so like at the end of the shift, the manager has an opportunity to recognize somebody for exceptional service and then issue them points on their service. And so these points are ported into a Google Sheet, which is tallied up automatically. And then they're entered into a larger pool of, they're basically nominated for an award that would be issued quarterly or every month or whatever the client wanted to do. But having that kind of recognition makes people want to stay forever. It's like the Employee of the Month Club, except for there's a meaningful piece to it. And so we do collect points to quantify it, but I think it's like, it's just one of those things that like keeps people engaged. I remember loving my job, loving my work. But that time came to an end, and there was nothing, and I think other people may have considered it to be one of the higher levels of the craft, working where I worked. But I don't know, we're just gonna have to figure it out to make it so that it feels good, so that it feels authentic and it's real. And hopefully I will get some experience in the next 6 months. Because I've only been doing this for 20 years, so what do I know? But there's lots of things that are kind of exciting when you kind of break them down into really, really small pieces. So that's where I'm at today. It's super exciting. This is, we're calling it Kinetic Management Systems, and it's largely software based with a couple weeks of implementation. If you hadn't heard, I'm launching a newsletter called Ops Nerd, OPS NERD. That's where I'm going to be showing specifically what like the workflows that I'm working on and what their impact is and how that's going to help bars and restaurants, because there's hundreds of them. I've been building hundreds of workflows that are interconnected. They all talk to each other, but each of them scratch a specific itch. Each of them solves a specific problem. So that is going to be implemented in the next week or so, starting in the next week or so for another client. So until then, I'm going to be working, as much as I can to get the system rock solid, beautiful, and effortless to implement, and making a major impact on the businesses that we work with. Just by the way, I found out that most people that are into Net Promoter Scores, review requests, reputation management, and stuff like that, they have like 4 or 5 different pieces of software for this, which by itself is insanity, because that means that they're paying for that software and they either don't know how to use it, or it's kind of lost by the wayside and they're just paying for something that they're not using. So we're solving that problem too. So just the table stakes are going to be a zero net cost increase for working with the system. So that's all I got for you today. I'll see you next time.